The arms dealer looked at my wire and said, "Nice try, Agent Johnson. Now we do this the hard way." Victor Petrov's words hung in the air like smoke from the barrel of a gun that had already been fired. The abandoned textile factory around us seemed to hold its breath as 18 months of undercover work disintegrated in the span of 5 syllables that cut through my carefully constructed identity like a blade through paper. I'd been Mike Romano for so long that hearing my real name felt like a slap across the face. Petrov stood 20 feet away in the center of the factory floor, surrounded by wooden crates that contained enough Stinger missiles to turn a passenger jet into falling debris. His thick Russian accent had vanished completely, replaced by the cold precision of someone who'd been playing a much longer game than I'd realized. The ISIS contacts flanking him weren't reaching for weapons yet, but their hands had moved closer to the assault rifles slung across their chests. My backup team was supposed to be positioned around the building's perimeter, ready to move in once I gave the signal, but the tiny microphone taped to my chest had just become a death warrant instead of evidence that would put Petrov away for life. I dove behind a concrete pillar as gunfire erupted across the abandoned factory floor. Muzzle flashes strobed like deadly lightning while bullets chewed chunks of concrete from my cover. My backup team should have been breaching the building by now, but the silence outside told me everything I needed to know about how compromised this operation really was. "Agent Michael Johnson, ATF badge number 4429, Petrov shouted over the gunfire. "Did you really think we wouldn't figure it out? Your handler David Cross has been feeding us information for months." The words hit me harder than the bullets sparking off concrete inches from my head. Cross was my direct supervisor, the man who'd recruited me for this undercover assignment, who knew every detail of my cover identity and operational protocols. If he was working for Petrov, then my entire team was walking into a trap. I pulled out my service weapon and returned fire while checking my phone for backup. No signal. They were jamming communications, which meant this wasn't just a blown cover scenario. This was an execution planned by people who knew exactly how federal law enforcement operated. The factory had multiple exits, but Petrov's team was already moving to cut off escape routes with military precision that suggested serious training. These weren't just arms dealers and terrorists. They were professionals who'd been preparing for this confrontation since the day I'd first made contact with their organization. "Your backup isn't coming, Johnson," Petrov called out as his men advanced on my position. "Cross made sure they're all busy responding to a fake emergency across town. It's just you and us, and we have some questions about other ATF operations you might know about." I sprinted toward the factory's loading dock while bullets whined past my ears. The rusted metal door was locked, but I shot the mechanism apart and rolled outside just as an explosion shook the building behind me. They weren't trying to capture me alive anymore. They were trying to eliminate a federal agent who'd learned too much about their operation. The parking lot outside was empty, except for my motorcycle and 3 black SUVs that hadn't been there when I'd arrived. Professional surveillance vehicles with tinted windows and no license plates. This entire meeting had been orchestrated to draw me into a kill zone where I'd disappear without leaving evidence. My bike started on the first try, and I gunned it toward the access road while automatic weapons fire erupted from the factory windows above. The SUVs were already moving to intercept my route, but I knew these industrial roads better than they did after months of surveillance work in this area. The chase through Baltimore's industrial district became a running gunfight at 60 miles per hour. The SUVs had professional drivers and unlimited ammunition, but motorcycles could go places that 4-wheeled vehicles couldn't follow. I cut through construction sites and abandoned lots while my phone finally picked up a signal. "Cross, this is Johnson. The operation is blown. Petrov made me and I'm taking heavy fire. Need immediate extraction and medical support." I waited for a response while weaving between concrete barriers that sparked with bullet impacts. "Johnson, where are you right now?" Cross's voice sounded strained, almost panicked. "Give me your exact location and I'll coordinate rescue." Something in his tone made me hesitate. Petrov had been too prepared, too informed about federal protocols. He'd known my real name, my badge number, details that should have been classified. And now Cross was asking for my location while I was being hunted by people who seemed to know my every move. "Cross, how did Petrov know I was ATF? How did he know my badge number?" There was a long pause before Cross responded. "Johnson, you need to get to the safe house immediately. We'll sort out operational security after you're secure." Full story on my channel and linked below.